In the last few episodes, we've been discussing copyright, what it is, how it works, and what type of assets you have that may be subject to copyright protection. Today, I want to talk to you specifically about the benefits of copyright registration. So the question is, first, if you have copyrightable assets, blog posts, a book, images, graphics, whatever it might be, should you file for copyright registration? And the answer is going to be, well, how important is it for you to protect that particular asset, and weighing that against the cost of copyright registration. Now, if it's, a 250 word blog post that's just kind of a throwaway thing, yeah, maybe not. If it is an asset that's gaining you a lot of coverage in social media, it's getting a lot of hits, it's just basically providing you with the bread and butter part of your business, then yes, you're going to want to protect that asset. The more important that asset is to your business and your brand, the more you want to protect it. So, things that get good engagement, those are the ones that you want to look at protecting. And obviously, if you wrote a book, yes, that's, to me, a no-brainer. You want to file a registration for that. Now, what is the benefit of filing a copyright registration? Why should you bother? There are three key things that come into play with copyright registration. The first is that, number one, you need the registration in order to be able to file a copyright infringement suit in federal court. If you do not have the registration and you have to file, then you're going to have to wait for the Copyright Office to approve that registration to be able to move forward with a lawsuit. And in that time, which could be 6 months to a year or more, your infringer is allowed to continue infringing unhindered because they don't have the lawsuit filed against them. The second reason why you would want to file copyright registration is if you do, and if you do it within the time frames required by the statutes, then you are eligible for statutory damages. So first, let's talk about those time frames. Under the copyright laws, you need to file your registration within 90 days of publication or before infringement begins. So my take on this is you file your registration the same day you publish your material. The exception to that would be blog posts, which you're filing in a group registration, and you file those every 90 days to capture the blog post from the prior 90 days. But for something like a book, you want to file your registration on or before the day that you publish the book. And that puts you into that category that's allowed for statutory damages. Now, statutory damages means that the court assigns a value to the infringement and what you've lost as a result of it, and they determine the amount of damages. Why would you want the court to determine the amount of damages? Because it precludes you from needing to provide evidence of what your damages are. And that evidence is going to be what you've lost in royalties, what you've lost in licensing opportunity. And that can be very hard to prove. And it usually requires expert testimony. So then you're paying for an expert witness. It can be very expensive and difficult to prove damages for copyright infringement. So having the availability of statutory damages where the court assigns an amount actually works in your favor and will save you a lot of headache in an infringement case. The third thing that you get by proactively filing your copyright registration is the right to claim attorney's fees. If you have not filed the copyright registration within 90 days of your date of publication, then you cannot claim attorney's fees in an infringement suit. And so that's one of the biggest costs of an infringement suit. Being able to claim attorney's fees could be a huge benefit for you in the event of infringement. So it's really about, the proactive registration is really about dealing with the ability to pursue your copyright rights through infringement litigation. And you want to keep that avenue open to you if you have somebody, let's say you wrote a book and they've stolen your entire book and they're selling it and they're making money off of it, and your own book sales are falling through the floor because they're buying it from this other person who's selling it cheaper. That's your only avenue to stop them. So you want the ability to have the infringement lawsuit. Now, with things like blog posts, images, it all becomes a little bit more gray in terms of the benefit to you. But if you're an artist and or a photographer and you're doing images, taking pictures, you can sell those photos to magazines, newspapers, whatever, and make your money there. And you can license their use for other people looking for stock photos. So if somebody steals that photo from you and they're selling it, they're taking money out of your hands. Even having the proactive registration, when you send them, here's my copyright registration number, along with your cease and desist letter, that may be a lot more effective than a cease and desist letter that's not backed by copyright registration. So that's my spiel on why you should proactively register your copyright. I honestly believe it's critical for books, and it's pretty important for anything else that is really a breadwinner for your business.